Hello everyone and thanks for watching Edupedia World videos. I am Manish Agrawal and today we'll continue with our session of mole concept. In that we'll today focus upon gram atomic mass and gram molar mass. Alright, so basically we'll continue with what we have studied in the last session. So let's begin with gram atomic mass. Okay, so we already know what atomic mass is. It is nothing but mass of one atom of an element. Now gram atomic mass is slightly a different concept. It tells you what is the weight of 1 gram atoms or what is the mass of 1 gram atoms of an element. Alright, so atomic mass is mass of one single individual atom, whereas gram atomic mass is mass of 1 gram atoms, and we already know that 1 gram atoms is nothing but 1 mole of atoms. Alright, so mass of 1 mole atoms is called gram atomic mass. Okay, so let's see what this means for us. Say I have oxygen atoms. Alright, let's say I have oxygen atoms with me. So I already know that atomic mass of oxygen is 16U. 16U is the atomic mass of oxygen. Alright, and I know that 1U is nothing but 1 by Na gram. So atomic mass of oxygen when represented in grams is 16 divided by Na grams. Now this is the mass of one single atom of oxygen. Alright, so if you have 2 atoms of oxygen, the mass will be 2 into this, 2 into 16 by Na. Similarly, if you have 5 atoms of oxygen, the mass will then become 5 into 16 by Na. If you have 1 dozen atoms of oxygen, then the mass, total mass becomes 12, that is 1 dozen into 16 by Na gram. Alright, it's quite simple. So now you have 1 gram atoms or 1 mole of oxygen atoms. So total mass will be nothing but 1 mole multiplied by 16 by Na. Alright, so total mass is nothing but mass of one atom multiplied by total number of atoms in the container. Okay, and since in this case we are calculating gram atomic mass, okay, the total mass in our case refers to gram atomic mass. So the total number of atoms in the container will be equal to 1 gram atoms, that is 1 mole of atoms. So hence now I can directly say that gram atomic mass, let's write it as GAM. Okay, let's abbreviate it in this acronym form. Gram atomic mass will be equal to total mass, that is Na into 16 by Na grams. So that is equal to 16 grams. Alright, so now if you look at it, the oxygen atom had a mass of 16U. Okay, the atomic mass of oxygen atom is 16U. Alright, and whereas the gram atomic mass of oxygen atom is 16 gram. Okay, the gram atomic mass of oxygen atom is 16 gram. So this is mass of one single atom, this is mass of 1 mole atoms. So if you will make this calculation for any other element, let's say we make the calculations for nitrogen, what we'll get, that one atom of nitrogen weighs 14U. Alright, so 1 mole atoms of nitrogen will weigh 14U into Na. Alright, that is 1 gram atoms of nitrogen, and 1U is again what, 1 by Na gram. So again I will get 14 gram. Okay, Na will get cancelled. 1U is this U can be written as 1 by Na gram. So 14U into Na will be 14 gram. Hence Nitrogen's atomic mass is 14U, but gram atomic mass is 14 gram. So likewise, for any element, if you go on to calculate the gram atomic mass, numerically it will be same as the atomic mass always. Alright, we just derived that why it is same. So numerically it will always be same, but the units will be different. If the unit is U, it means you are referring to one single atom. 16U is mass of one single oxygen atom, whereas 16 gram is mass of 1 mole oxygen atoms. Okay, so now you know the difference. So we can look at some more examples for gram atomic mass. Okay, we have already looked at the example of oxygen. Atomic mass is 16U and gram atomic mass is 16 gram. Similarly for sodium, atomic mass will cost 23U. Alright, this is standard information. You don't necessarily have to remember this. It will be given in the questions, or it is present at the back of your textbooks or even websites on the internet. So sodium atomic mass is 23U and gram atomic mass then will be 23 gram. Okay, the difference between atomic mass and gram atomic mass is of number of atoms. Atomic mass has one single atom. Gram atomic mass generally refers to 1 mole of atoms. Not generally, always it refers to 1 mole of atoms. Alright, similarly nitrogen. Okay, now likewise we can also define gram molecular mass. Okay, there is not any change in the concept, only difference is in gram molecular mass we talk about molecules. Like in gram atomic mass we talked about atoms. In gram molecular mass we'll talk about molecules. So gram molecular mass refers to mass of 1 gram molecules. Okay, in gram atomic mass we said it is mass of 1 gram atoms. So gram molecular mass is mass of 1 gram molecules. Alright, let's refer it using GMM, gram molecular mass. It's mass of 1 mole molecules. Okay, to calculate gram molecular mass you need to have 1 gram molecules, that is 1 mole molecules. Let's say you have CO2, carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide, you know carbon has atomic mass of 12U, oxygen has atomic mass of 16U, and there are 2 oxygen atoms here in the compound. So total mass is 46U. So carbon has an molecular mass of 46U. Alright, this is mass of one single molecule of carbon dioxide. So CO2, carbon dioxide, has molecular mass of 46U. Now you have to calculate its gram molecular mass. So gram molecular mass is mass of 1 mole molecules. So total mass will be again Na into 46U. Alright, that is total number of molecules multiplied by mass of one single molecule. Alright, same thing, this is mass of one single molecule. Mass of one single, okay, one molecule basically. I'm just writing single again to emphasize that term, that it is mass of one molecule, and Na is the total number of molecules for calculation of gram molecular mass. Okay, so if we go on to calculate this further, so total mass comes out to be Na multiplied by 46U. 1U is 1 by Na gram, okay, in grams. So this will come out to be 46 gram. Okay, so total mass of carbon dioxide is 46 gram. Okay, you have to know this. Alright, again same thing, mass of one molecule is 46U, but when we refer it to gram molecular mass it comes out to be 46 grams. Okay, so now let's see more such examples. Okay, oxygen gas. Now we know oxygen gas is nothing but O2 molecules. Alright, it is formed by combination of 2 single atoms of oxygen into molecules. So oxygen gas has a molecular mass of 32U. Hence it will have a gram molecular mass of 32 grams. Alright. Similarly, carbon dioxide has a molecular mass of 46 U. So it has a gram molecular mass of 46 gram. Right, again, just like that, ozone gas is nothing but 3 oxygen atoms combined together. Alright, it is O3. So it has a molecular mass of 16 plus 16 plus 16, that is 48 U. So ozone has a molecular mass of 48 U. Hence its gram molecular mass will be 48 gram. Alright. So now you know the meaning of gram atomic mass and gram molecular mass. Once again, it is just mass of molecules which are 1 mole in quantity, or mass of atoms which are 1 mole in quantity, and numerically they have the same magnitude as atomic mass and molecular mass. Alright, only difference is in the units. Okay, so you have to remember that. Now let's look at some formulas which use gram atomic mass and gram molecular mass in their concept. Alright, so first formula that you have to remember, okay, now these are very important formulas. First is calculation of number of moles of molecules. Okay, so now if you have to calculate number of moles of molecules, it is nothing but given mass of a substance divided by gram molecular mass. Okay, so number of moles of molecules is equal to given mass of a substance divided by gram molecular mass. For example, let's see. Say I have 64 gram. Alright, let's say I have 64 gram of oxygen in a closed container. Okay, I have 64 gram of oxygen in a closed container. Okay, so now I have to calculate. The question is, if this oxygen is in O2 form, is in the form of oxygen gas. Okay, if this oxygen is in the form of oxygen gas, that is in form of O2, calculate number of moles of molecules in the container. Okay, you have to calculate number of moles of molecules inside the container. So let's see. Formula is number of moles of molecules is equal to given mass of substance divided by gram molecular mass. Okay, so you have to calculate number of moles of molecules. Let's represent it by letter N, small n. So that is equal to given mass. Now given mass is the mass given to you in the question, that is 64 gram. So you have 64 gram of oxygen with you. Okay, that is the meaning of given mass. Okay, the quantity present with you. So 64 gram divided by gram molecular mass. Now we know gram molecular mass of O2 is 32 grams. Alright, gram molecular mass of O2 is 32 grams. We know this. So you just substitute it over here. So 64 divided by 32, this comes out to be 2. Hence 2 moles of O2 are present in the container. Okay, so now you know how to calculate moles if you are given mass of a substance. Okay, similarly, the other part of the question can be, again you have the same container, you have the same amount of oxygen, 64 gram. The question tells you to calculate number of moles of molecules inside the container. Okay, calculate moles of molecules inside the container if oxygen is in the form of O3 molecules. Okay, that is ozone molecules. So if it is in the form of ozone, it is in the form of O3. So gram molecular mass of ozone is, we just calculated it in the previous slide, 16 into 3. There are 3 atoms, that is 48 gram. Okay, So gram molecular mass of ozone is 48 gram. So number of moles will be given mass. This time it is 64 gram divided by 48. So this is what? 4 by 3 mole. Okay. So this is approximately 1.33 mole. Okay. Approximately these many molecules of ozone are present with you inside the container. Okay. 4 by 3 mole. Alright. So this is how you use this formula. Okay. Similarly, the other formula is number of moles of atoms. Okay. Again the same concept, but only applicable for atoms, not molecules. So number of moles of molecules were given mass divided by gram molecular mass. Similarly, number of moles of atoms will be given mass divided by atomic mass. Okay. What atomic mass? Gram atomic mass. So number of moles of atoms is given mass divided by gram atomic mass. So let's say in the same question, okay, you have the same container and you have the same oxygen. Okay, again you have the same container and you have the same oxygen. Now you say number, have to calculate number of moles of atoms of oxygen. So in this part we have to calculate the third part, number of moles of atoms of oxygen. Okay, we have already calculated number of moles of O2 if in case the atoms or in case the oxygen inside is present in O2 form. Okay, we have calculated number of moles of O3 in case the oxygen inside is present in form of ozone. Now we are trying to calculate number of moles of atoms of oxygen inside the container. So gram atomic mass, okay, we know that number of moles of atoms is given mass, let's represent it by W, given mass divided by gram atomic mass. Okay, so given mass is 64 gram, it is same. Okay, given mass cannot change, conservation of mass, and gram atomic mass of oxygen is, we know it to be 16 gram. So 64 divided by 16 gram. Okay, now 16 gram per mole. So this is equal to 4 mole. So we know that there are 4 mole atoms of oxygen inside that container. Okay, so this is how you use both the formulas. Few important points over here. First, that in your questions and even in your textbooks you will often find, now once this topic is over, in the other topics you will often find directly written as molecular mass of oxygen is 32 gram or atomic mass of oxygen is 16 gram. Okay, so now they haven't written it as gram atomic mass or gram molecular mass, but just by looking at the units, that is it is present in gram, 16 gram, 32 gram, we can directly conclude that they are actually referring to gram atomic mass and gram molecular mass. So let's not get confused from here on. Okay, whenever it is given like gram molecular mass or molecular mass, actually they are referring to the same thing in your textbooks, but technically molecular mass is mass of one molecule, whereas gram molecular mass is mass of 1 mole molecules. But in your textbooks and in your questions, what you have generally been given is mass of 1 mole entities. Okay, so that is one aspect. And another aspect is that in lot of textbooks and in lot of places you will actually find that the unit of gram molecular mass and gram atomic mass is not gram, it is actually gram per mole. Okay, so here if you look at our slides, you will find that we have written all the masses when we are talking about gram molecular mass or gram atomic mass, we have written it in form of gram. Okay, because I have inherently told you that gram molecular mass always refers to 1 mole of entities. But at many places, to make that more clear, what they do is they write the unit of gram atomic or gram molecular mass as gram per mole. Okay, for example, if you are talking about oxygen atom, you say gram atomic mass of oxygen is 16 gram per mole. Why? Just to be clear that you are actually talking about 1 mole atoms. Alright, since you in case of gram atomic mass and gram molecular mass, you are always talking about 1 mole entities. You can simply use unit as gram per mole instead of just gram. Okay, because these terms refer not only to mass but actually also to the quantity. They are also a measure of quantity, because as soon as you add this term gram atomic or gram molecular in front of mass, you actually always fix the number of entities. You always fix them to be 1 mole. So whatever mass comes out to be, it will always be per mole. Okay, so don't get confused. If let's say you have sodium atom, and in some textbook you will find that molecular mass is 23 gram, whereas in other textbook it might be written as 23 gram per mole. Okay, they are actually both trying to say the same thing, but one is trying to be more specific about it and other is just trying to make it a bit superficial. Alright, so sodium atomic mass can be written as 23 gram or 23 gram per mole. So lastly, in the next session we'll continue with this gram atomic mass and gram molecular mass. Okay, we have already studied the concept. In the next session we'll only take up some more questions for the practice purposes. Alright, so when you study this slide, revise them once again and try to solve some questions by your own. Okay, before we start with the questions in the next session. Alright, so until next time, and once again thanks for watching Edupedia World videos.